I love coffee, and not in the way that you think exactly. You're gonna love the coffee, your daily dose of caffeine, in the form of this delicious iced white chocolate mocha. And what I really meant is that I don't really have coffee the way that you might have coffee, which might be to get the morning buzz going, to get productive, to get some work done. I usually do not have any, and I guess because my parents didn't allow me to have it until way later in my life, so it just never kind of gelled together. But I love coffee in the form of desserts. All these mochas, iced mochas, fraps, they're basically just desserts with coffee in it, and that's what makes them so great. So let's enjoy this iced white chocolate mocha. So we have three elements in this dish. This is the first element. For this, we're gonna add a bit of heavy cream. I'm gonna add in just about half a cup. Now this element is gonna be the white chocolate sauce that we're gonna use to kind of garnish the glass we're gonna serve this in. As that starts to bubble up, and add in some white chocolate chips. About 6 to 8 tablespoons should be enough to get a nice sauce going. Now if you all love custard, then tasting this is going to be just like having a classic vanilla custard. By the way, when you're heating up chocolate like this, don't heat it on too high of a heat, or you're going to risk your chocolate splitting and ruining the texture of that sauce. Just let it bubble gently until the cream has thickened a little bit. This consistency is perfect. Now remember, it's going to cool down. It's going to thicken even more. So you don't want to thicken it too much. So now I'm just going to transfer that chocolate sauce into the squeeze bottle here, just so I can garnish it later on. Now remember, we have a nozzle, so any excess steam from that hot chocolate sauce will release. So we should be fine letting it cool down in the fridge. Don't close it if you have a top. Now the second part of this recipe is our milk and white chocolate base. And this is what really separates our homemade version of this iced white mocha than the store-bought ones, where essentially it's just a syrup. Who knows if there's even actual white chocolate in it? It could just be artificial flavors. You don't know. Then add in your milk. We just want the milk to be just hot enough so we can melt that chocolate. And make sure to stir the milk from time to time just to make sure that it doesn't stick at the bottom. Great, so now milk is just warm enough that you can see some steam coming out. Now add in your chocolate. Now you can turn off the heat at this point, and then for your chocolate I'm using some Lindt bars here, and just be generous with it. Half a bar. You can add more or less. Now stir it. It should melt right away. And now a nice spoonful of Madagascar vanilla bean paste, not vanilla extract, vanilla bean paste. Add that in there. You can actually see beads of the vanilla in the milk. Can you see that? There's some real flavor in there. Gets me excited. Taste it. Now as you're tasting it, remember that this is the last time. You can really adjust the sweetness to your personal liking. There's sweetness in the milk. There's some sweetness in some of the chocolate sauce we'll put in the glass. So really adjust and think about what you want to taste. I'm gonna add in a touch of sugar. Give it a final mix. Now for those of you who are wondering, what are we doing here? I thought this was supposed to be an ice drink, because I already have a video for the hot version of a white chocolate mocha. Link down below. Full recipe on my website. We are doing this to really unlock all the flavors, to really melt the chocolate properly. There's no other way to really melt white chocolate to get that flavor incorporated in our drink without heating up something. The third element of our drink is the coffee. Remember, we still need the coffee in there. So let's boil some water and we'll brew a bit of our espresso. Now while the water is coming up to a boil, let me talk to you about this guy. Now, this guy you must have seen if you have seen any movies, if you've been at a bar. That's what they use to really make the drink. It's a drink shaker. Let's call it that, right? You can find it easily on Amazon. If you want this one, you can find it down below. But you can really find it anywhere for pretty cheap. And if you've been to any of the baristas, any of the coffee shops, then you would have seen them making their drinks with this as well, and hence we're doing this. So our water is boiling now. Turn off that heat. Then in your drink shaker, we'll add in some of the espresso powder. Add just over 2 teaspoons of espresso. And when the water has come up to a boil, add in half of that water. We leave the other half for our other drink. We let that brew for a little bit. And once that has brewed, add in about a cup of your white chocolate and milk mixture. Now, the bottom will be warm because this is a stainless steel kind of glass. Now the bottom will be warm, so handle that very carefully. So just hold from the top, don't touch it at all. Maybe use a cloth, but we're gonna cool it down right now with some ice cubes. So add in 1 or 2 ice cubes in the shaker. And just make sure to let that chill so that most of the steam has escaped before we cover this. Then close the shaker. Because if you don't let all the steam escape, it's either a splash or a shake. And then be sure to hold the top and the lid. That's gonna aerate it. It's gonna cool it down right away, those ice cubes. And you're basically ready to serve it. I'm gonna show you a really quick method to make some whipped cream. Oops, that's too much. So all it is your cream and then a mechanized frother. Put that in there and whiz away. And the texture of this is very smooth. It's not like any other whipped cream. And I think because it's the frothing action and not like a whipping action, that does that kind of texture. Let me show this to you. And you can see it's not really the same as whipped cream. It's just smoother. And it still forms the soft peaks that we expect it to see. Now this was the fourth and final element of this drink. You can put it if you want. It's completely optional. Up to you. I'm showing you the full picture. Some ice cubes in your actual serving glasses, and then just pour in your drink. Look at that beautiful color. And for the second one, I'm gonna add in some of my white chocolate around the rim. And here goes our second drink. Top it off generously with whipped cream. And before I leave, let me just tell you how good this drink really is. You can really taste that white chocolate, and that's how it should be. I don't want to taste syrup. I want to taste the white chocolate mocha, iced, to really beat this summer sun. So if you want to do this drink justice, then make this recipe right now. And when it comes to the winter months, make sure to make the hot versions so you get your dose of white mocha all year long. See you in the next one. Bye guys.